Hello, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to the Disney Morning Show. I am Kyle, joined almost as always by Tony.
This is a Kyle.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Let's say some hellos before we get into the show. I hope you all appreciate the much shorter intro music today.
Not big, huge breaking news today. But Fred says top of the morning to you and happy Earth Day, even though Earth Day is literally every day until we colonize somewhere else, I guess.
Yeah.
Spencer, hello to you. Fred says hello to Spencer. Geo, good morning, party peeps, and hello, Earthlings from Nikki B. Nikki B, I watched that hashtag Sky King the other night, by the way. It was pretty good.
Yeah. She both likes to talk about it and doesn't like to talk about it.
That's right. I forgot about that. Sorry. I did watch it. I won't talk about it and how I disagreed with certain aspects of it. But
fair enough. Well, let's get started the way we always start. Yesterday, the stock price was at 104.80. Let's see where it's at now after that big window announcement. Apparently, I need to add the screen. 104.64. So basically flat. Apparently, it's up on the day, so it must have dipped after we talked yesterday. But yeah, not too bad. Now, the main stuff. Tony, you like how Disney just quietly launched a third YouTube series yesterday?
Kind of. I was wondering, did it really have a name, or was it just like, here's an update?
I don't know. I didn't. Okay, confession. I didn't actually watch it, but based on the title, it sounded like it was going to be an ongoing thing. And Lord knows they have a lot of construction coming up. But why don't you tell us what this is, and then maybe that'll make more sense.
Dust. It is a new series, maybe. I don't know. But Imagineering has showed or shared an update rather on 3 big projects coming to Walt Disney World, 2 of which we've heard pretty consistently for the early part of this year, with the Muppets coaster and Big Thunder changes coming next month. But we also got a look at the Disney Lakeside Lodge, which is currently towering over Fort Wilderness. If you've been to Fort Wilderness before, there's a lot of rustic charm now. Now there's a giant 8-floor building and structures, and it's massive complex. Anyway, we're learning more
about that in a minute.
Okay. We're learning more about that due for next year, including some of the room themes like Brother Bear, Pocahontas, and Bambi, which devotees may recall are 2 of 3 similar themes coming to the Sequoia Lodge at Disneyland Paris by next year. So I think we might be doing some double duty here, but I'm more excited about Brother Bear coming to Lakeside Lodge personally, because that's a very underrated movie in my opinion. But we also got to look at some of the props that are coming to the Muppets queue for Rock and Roller Coaster, which look very familiar in my opinion, because I feel like that's exactly like the Muppet Vision pre-show queue. And then, of course, more changes coming to Big Thunder. Big Thunder opens May 3rd, Muppets opens May 26th, and Lakeside Lodge is slated for next year sometime.
Seeing this top hat reminded me to tell you, I don't have it on the rundown, but apparently Secret Lives of Mormon Wives is resuming production.
Okay.
And there's the whole will Mom Talk survive? And Luke hit me with one of our favorite references yesterday saying Mom Talk, which did not die. I thought you'd appreciate it.
But it's in the book. So is it really exclusive to the Muppets?
Just no, but
it just made it
when we're
popular.
all talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway, Paradise Season 3, we got a new cast member announced, Julianna Margulies, who is a name that pops up way more often in my house than you'd expect for having never seen much of her work. But anytime I say that, oh, wow, you're such a good wife, I then say Julianna Margulies. So that's my only frame of reference for her. But she's going to be in the next season of Paradise, which is coming to Hulu. Could be the last. That's not official yet, but we'll see what role she plays when the show comes out, presumably next year.
You should start saying it after, if anybody ever says the day after tomorrow also, because she's
okay.
Too.
So she's just the apocalypse lady.
I guess, yeah.
Okay, good to
know. In Apocalypse for a Glade, I guess, those who are heading to Disneyland Paris this month can partake in a special activity themed to Pixar's Jumpers. which is what it's known as in some European.
It does say hoppers in tiny white text underneath,
including France. Does it really?
Yeah.
I didn't notice it. Either way, here we know it as hoppers, but in France it is referred to as jumpers. The latest film from Pixar Animation Studios, getting its own themed kind of scavenger hunt / activity book that can be picked up at Disneyland Paris and select Disney hotels at the resort throughout the month. So check that out if you're heading that way.
Yeah, this is the Cheyenne Hotel Cheyenne in the background there.
Is it? I was like, is that Frontierland or that? But yeah,
I'm pretty well because this is that hotel. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's Cheyenne. But also, I wanted to make the joke that because it's called Jumpers in France, people visiting from the UK might think that the movie is about sweaters.
Nikki made the same comment too.
Okay,
So, yeah.
I swear that I came up with that earlier and was not looking at the
It's
comments.
true. It's true.
Yes.
He did. He said it to me, and I said, or onesies. But
yeah.
I also want to issue a correction from yesterday with the Panna debate. For those who watched, we both, I think, landed on it. Bread after you said, Kyle, it was whipped cream. Kyle was closer. It is in fact cream. So,
well, I figured it was just cream. I was just saying in Starbucks version, of course, it's going to be whipped cream, but I assumed that it was cream.
Okay, because I was like, it's different though, because it's still whipped cream. I'm like, no, I meant cream. Okay.
I guess I did not include the other thing. I thought we were going to talk about the lakeside thing on here. I thought that I did.
Oh, okay.
Well, we still can if you want to talk about it. I can pull it up, but
it's massive.
Yeah. But before we get to that, let me do my story and then we'll. Okay. Star Wars Nite is coming up, and they've announced some food for it. There's some spicy chicken tip yip waffle cone, bantha gogi, which is presumably like bulgogi. This is just a hilarious name. Galactic bunt cake. Just they didn't try too hard on that one.
Do we need to do a Star Wars words article?
Yeah.
Galactic.
Pizza 5 blossom bread, dewback chili noodles, twin saber funnel cake fries, and pork belly sandwiches. Get it? It's probably pork, but it's and then of course Dagobah bites, which are just Yoda shaped beignets. So you can get all of these and more if you're going to be attending Star Wars Nights at the Disney Resort.
The funnel cake fries look like a giant spider. I don't know how I felt about that.
I'm sure Doobie would hate it, especially after you mentioned it. He might not bother him right away, but then you'd say that, and then he'd have a breakdown.
I want to know, Nikki B, or as I call that hotel, the eyesore. Do you mean the Santa Fe one in France or Lakeside Lodge? And by Lakeside, I mean Lakeside.
And speaking of Lakeside, so yeah, let's take a look at these are some of the construction photos that are.
Yes. And they are also getting their A-frame cabins, similar in the same vein, I should say, as the Copper Creek cabins at Wilderness Lodge and the Polynesian Resort bungalows on the water. Just their own unique take on it with the A-frames. But that thing is just so massive. And I know some of those trees out front are also where people used to throw the shoes onto the tree back in the river country days. And that has all of that has been removed also as they get ready for that whole thing. Nikki B commenting Lakeside, just like I said on accident.
And here's what it'll apparently look like when it's done. This is some new concept art that we got yesterday. So love that they include the bus parking in there.
Morgan and I were talking about this because if you go over to the site where it is now, it is by Pioneer Hall on Fort Wilderness. And if you're familiar with that, there is no direct access to Pioneer Hall from like the entrance of Fort Wilderness. You have to go down that long road. So that turnaround there is literally within Fort Wilderness. So are they going to use the same entrance to Fort Wilderness and that road's just going to become a whole lot busier? Or are they building a new, like using the service roads that already exist to go that way? We'll find out in time. But yeah, that bus turnaround's pretty much already there. And it serves as the inter-property transportation to get to Pioneer Hall and Hoop-de-Doo and everything from there. But
gotcha. Yeah, I haven't been over there, so I can't. Although Luke is there right now, so maybe he'll be able to tell us. But let's take a trip to Tokyo, Tony.
Going to Tokyo, it's apparently very hot there in the summer. Have you been in the summer?
I mean, I'm sure it's hot, but I'm sure it's hotter in Florida and Hong Kong and most other parks in the world. Maybe not Paris, although Paris doesn't have air conditioning. A lot of places. I mean, a lot of places a lot of Disneyland Paris mostly does, but a lot of other places in Paris and Europe in general don't really have air conditioning. It's not as ubiquitous as it is here.
Well, either way, Tokyo Disney is bringing back for the second year the summer cool off celebration, which includes different ways for people to get wet at the parks, including get soaked versions of major attractions like Splash Mountain, which has water features to get you even more wet on the ride and even get people just watching the water ride get wet. Also, Mediterranean Harbor at Tokyo Disney Sea also includes a show that has geysers that just blast into the plazas, which I think is kind of insane. So imagine just like, I'm going to Tokyo Disneyland for the first time and check this out. Oh, and suddenly I'm just getting shot in the face with water for no reason other than it's summer cool off.
I mean, think about Bluto's, whatever that is.
But you kind of know what you're getting into with that.
Yeah, but those streams of water are like sting. They are surprisingly strong.
I've lived in Florida 20 years now this year, and I've been on Popeye and Bluto's Bill Drop barges, I think a total of 4 times. Like, that's right, it's ridiculous. But the one thing that also caught my attention was Gadget's Go Coaster this year is getting soaked itself. And I think of the frogs from California's version that are no longer there. I'm assuming they're the same in Tokyo, but those will probably actually shoot the vehicles as opposed to just kind of being an effect. The Happy Ride with Baymax will be getting a special song that's for the whole celebration called Carrying Happiness, parentheses, Tokyo Disney Resort version, performed by Mrs. Green Apple. That will also be involved in a lot of the shows and everything like that. But after 7 o'clock at night, it is exclusive to the Happy Ride with Baymax. And then Baymax is also getting his own kind of mini parade as featured there that will go through the parade route, stopping and shooting folks with water in designated zones. So,
yeah. And of course, this will be pretty much the last hurrah for Aquatopia, as we talked about yesterday.
Yes, because the summer cool off ends September 14th, and that is the same day as the last day of operation permanently for Aquatopia.
Yeah. Well, Tony, I was thinking about creating a new segment for these next 2 stories, but I didn't have a good vision for it. But if I did, it would have been called like Disney Mad Libs, because these next 2 stories sound like somebody just took a bunch of words and mashed them up. First up, they've announced ESPN Jeopardy. This is, we don't have an air date yet, but Joe Buck is going to be hosting an ESPN themed version of Jeopardy, which is, of course, going to air on Disney Plus and Hulu. Not ESPN. And if you're wondering, Kyle, why ESPN Jeopardy and not just Sports Jeopardy? Well, Sony, who produces this, had a streaming service called Crackle, and they already had a Sports Jeopardy on that. So to distinguish, this is ESPN Jeopardy, and apparently it's going to have celebrities. So it'll still be like Celebrity Jeopardy with sports questions called ESPN Jeopardy. That is Mad Lib story number 1. Number 2 is, let me just read this headline. Techno toddlers Lenny Pearce to create new music and animated content for Disney Plus. I guess Lenny Pearce, aka, is the creator of Toddler Techno and Family Raves. He is developing animated content inspired by his own techno toddler remix versions of songs from different Disney Junior shows, including Spidey and His Amazing Friends and Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. That'll be on a new album called Disney Junior Music, Lenny Pearce Toddler Techno, which will be released on May 15th. And the first remix from that is going to be released this weekend. So keep an eye out for Toddler Techno coming to a streaming service near you.
I didn't hear anything what you said because I was looking at this Ahsoka thing going down.
Yeah, I don't know. I said the words Toddler Techno, which is should be enough to qualify for Mad Libs, I think. Well, it's another day and another release of Toy Story 5 items. Today they came from Funko, Pop Mart, and Miniso.
Mm-hmm. I think they're blind boxes also, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, basically these are just different versions of the characters, including if you've ever wanted a pop figure of a tablet, you can have that. And of course, Smarty Pants, which Tony does want. And I'll probably want that. Is a pig with Jessie in its mouth, and that's easily the best one.
I do like the bullseye one also. So
there's what looks like a stocking, but is actually a buzz foot that is a purse. Same with Okay, yeah. So now we're getting into the Labubu territory, even though Pop Mart is what's actually Labubu, and they have different. These are kind of cute. These
Yeah, I like the
themed
boxes.
wagon things. So these come out on different dates. I think the MINISO come out the 26th. I think the Funkos come out the 27th, and these from Pop Mart are coming out May 1st. So keep an eye out for all of that, but you will not be. We still have 2 more days, presumably, of Toy Story toys coming our way.
I might cry shenanigans. I don't know that I might have to watch it again. I don't remember Bonnie getting Woody's toy chest, the wagon looking one. So why would
you might have come back and donated it at a later time?
I don't know if that's canon, Kyle.
Wow. Well, yeah, I'm sure you know better than the filmmakers. No, I'm just kidding. These are just licensed toys. They don't have to be accurate.
Tomorrowland's getting a number 7 aesthetic for what they're trying to do in that land with this new mural on the Tomorrowland Speedway, kind of giving it the whole area of the Tomorrowland Speedway a distinct look that further juxtaposes it against the rest of Tomorrowland. Either way, it's a nice touch, and it's good to see this attraction getting some love. It hasn't really changed much since 1971 outside of a name that I can think of and some more racing aspects when it became the Tomorrowland Indy Speedway.
Hasn't it gotten shorter?
Maybe. When I did like research on it, I didn't really see major changes to it. So
okay.
Yep.
Major changes.
Yep, major changes. But yeah, so this is cool. Very stylized. Kind of goes with the marquee that exists already. But again, Tomorrowland needs to figure out what they're doing. So over at EPCOT, we call them the twins. I don't know I know that I think the official like cast member terms is the towers, but this marquee says Disney Traders, the 2 stores as you enter World Showcase Promenade. The one closest to Mexico side has a new display, kind of throwing back to the double-decker buses that would circle around the World Showcase Promenade, featuring on one side, if you go back, Kyle, a full selection of EPCOT passports that are all the same. And then on the other side, a number of blind boxes for pins and other various pin accoutrements, which is also found throughout the store. I know these to be kind of where the Pandora and the Roosevelts and the Doonies are, but this is also one of the hubs for pin trading and pin releases. But yeah, so this bus has the stamps and everything that are found in the EPCOT passports, which you can kind of see there. There you go. That whole display is almost just the EPCOT passport. So be sure to throw down your $10 and partake in that activity. I feel like that might not be long for this world, to be completely honest. But yeah.
Very cool. Well, let's catch up on some comments before we move on.
Okay, real quick, Gio also agrees. He thinks that they have chopped it down 2 or 3 times over the years. A far cry from Disneyland, who has, I think, doubled it. But granted, they like combined multiple Autopias. Either way, ours, I think, is very, very weak and dated, to be completely honest. Zadrian loves the Toy Story merchandise. And then a little bit of Joe Buck critiques here. Oh, goody, Joe Buck. Granted, he's been getting better the last few years. And then Fred, since he already hosted the College Bowl on NBC, did Joe Buck host that?
Probably.
Okay.
Anyway, we have a review.
And I've had my share of bad reviews. I still remember my first good one, though. Everything else in this production of Our Town was simply terrible. Joey Tribbiani was abysmal.
Well, as we mentioned, it is Earth Day. And because it's Earth Day, we got a brand new Disney nature movie on Disney Plus called Orangutan. And Alex reviewed this for us. He says, with Orangutan, Disney Nature completes its best unofficial trilogy. He says, the movie is a joyful, funny, and quietly profound Earth Day celebration that reminds us how much we have in common with our distant cousins in the treetops. It's the kind of film that makes you want to protect what's left of these ancient forests. And like the best Disney films, it's full of family and heart. And he gives it 5 out of 5 Semenang fruits.
I see.
There you go. You can screen that now on Disney Plus, along with all of the Disney nature movies over the years.
And the rest.
Well, the Webby Awards are either coming up or happened, or they announced the juried ones.
They exist.
Either way, Disney's already won, so something's happened already. But they've won 2 awards. One of them is Best Partnership or Collaboration, and that was for the Kylie Kelsey Walt Disney World special, where she was at Magic Kingdom with her mother-in-law, Donna Kelsey. And then the other one went to We Call It Imagineering, specifically the episode where they had the different animatronics, including the walk-around Olaf. That was the first time he was officially revealed. That won for People's Voice Award for Video and Film Technology at the Webby Awards. So congratulations to those two projects. And then something else to note is that we've been seeing some Spider-Man films in our when we check the Disney Plus top 10. But now that No Way Home is on Disney Plus for the first time ever, meaning since the service thing launched in 2019, you can now watch all of the MCU in one place. Previously, you couldn't do this. They didn't have Hulk for a while because that was Universal. And then Spider-Man movies are Sony. So at long last, everything's united. You can watch them all. And it would take you several days at this point. Yes, Tony.
Is it all on Disney Plus, or is it like through Hulu on Disney Plus and bundle stuff too?
I don't know.
Oh,
I would have to look at his art. I think it's Disney Plus.
Okay,
but I don't know for sure. Well, as I mentioned earlier in the week, Maxon got a chance to go to the American Idol taping for Disney Night and shared some behind the scenes, which I don't know how he got to. I think this is
AI audience.
Yeah, they use AI in their audience, and those AI have to do parking, I guess. I like how there's also a preferred check-in versus the regular check-in. But I think it's hilarious. This is such a big show, and then seeing these like let's just say low-key merch setups and stuff like that is
pretty ridiculous,
funny to me. But yeah, you can check out his full things. He also put up some behind the scenes stuff. There's EGOT winner Jennifer Hudson, who was a guest judge this time, returning to her old stomping ground. So cool little write-up that she did there. And then as you might know, because I know we have a lot of crossover in fandom, WWE's WrestleMania was live from Vegas this weekend on ESPN. And Rebecca shares some of her thoughts about that as a fan of ESPN, and kind of talked about how they had this big lead up to the event, but then afterwards they haven't really done anything. Not really, like some light coverage about some recaps, but that's about it. So she is a fan of wrestling and a fan of ESPN, so she will continue on this beat talking about how she feels that their coverage is holding up. So there you go. You can go check that out over on Laughing Place as well.
The fun stuff.
Today's fun stuff is an edition of Barely, where we talk about merchandise, and it serves as a reminder that the real Barely Necessities will be taking place later today. Tony, remember a few months ago when we talked about those Figment shirts that showed like the animatronic version?
Yes.
Well, we have a weird, ugly orange bird collection, including this shirt where he doesn't even seem to know where he is, and is very confused about his presence on this T-shirt, and a mug. And
there's another one that I've seen in the past that I'm like, really, I call it the Hamiltons because it's like a Roosevelt's ripoff. But I think if you keep going, you might see it. But it's a button down. And it's got the walk around character all of there. It is.
Yeah, I think this one's been around. At least looks more familiar. But yeah, there's some other ones, which is still part of the Flower and Garden Festival. So everyone knows how much I love Orange Bird. So if you love Orange Bird as much as me, I hope you love this merchandise. That's one of Disney's rarest characters. They never release anything with him. So enjoy.
I also think it's funny because I'm pretty sure it's the one image that like exists of the walk around character. Like if you look up Orange Bird walk around character, you're only going to get one image, and it's that one that they've peppered all over the place. Nikki wants to know, is Orange Bird sick? And then
Gio, he doesn't have scurvy. We know that.
Gio is also not a fan of the Orange Bird images they've used.
Limited edition, let's do some simple addition.
I think we are back to the company that inspired Macklemore Math, and that is
I think so, too.
Redone. They've come out with a Devil Wears Prada 2 collection, which we'll show here. So these are t-shirts that says "Everybody Wants to Be Us" with Miranda on it. That's all with the that's something Miranda says, and it's her heels with the pitchfork. Florals for spring, groundbreaking, which we mentioned
a few times.
So yeah, you could probably buy something like this on Etsy, but if you want to spend $160 or more than 3 Macklemores, you can pick up these shirts for yourself on the Redon website.
Yeah, that's when I first saw it, I think I even sent you a picture. And it's like, this is on Etsy, Kyle.
Yeah, I don't get it. I'm sure somebody does.
Yep.
I don't want to go on a rant here.
Yes, the latest Teacup Confessions has dropped. The Disney Parks web series that puts celebrities in the middle of a teacup. This one in daylight hours, so no need for night vision here. But they had Paris Hilton jumping into this one, and she was asked, who is the most understood or most misunderstood Disney villain? Kyle would have a wild stab in the dark at what her answer was.
The Evil Queen.
No, it was Beast from Beauty and the Beast because, quote, he just wants somebody to love.
Okay, but that's the entire point of the movie.
That's the movie, Kyle.
I was going to say Cruella because she doesn't seem very defensible, but then they made a whole movie trying to somewhat defend her.
Correct. No, she said Beast from Beauty and the Beast, which is absolutely ridiculous. Paris Hilton, go watch the movie again, please. That's the point of the movie. Anyway, rant over.
It's fair enough. So I wish I had a picture of Disneyland because I did that to Tony yesterday. I sent him a picture of Disneyland and then put Disneyland Paris, and it's Paris Hilton and Disneyland. Anyway, I guess
because
that
of the style, I said it worked both ways too.
Yeah. I just reset my browser before this so that it wouldn't have little hiccups like yesterday, and
But
I
she
forgot to
did.
open the document that I need, but now it's open. She never disappoints.
And I said, but she did.
On this day in 1964, something began.
Something began. The New York
Something
World's Fair.
began, kicked off, would run for several months.
The New York World's Fair.
Yeah. In Flushing, New York. Correct. Sorry, I missed what you said. On this day in 1990, something closed at Magic Kingdom.
In 1990? Magic Kingdom. Mission to Mars? No, that was when I was here.
It's more than an attraction.
Oh, was it when it's Mickey's Birthday Land became Mickey Starland? Okay.
Yeah, Mickey's Birthday Land closed. On this day in 1998, something opened.
Animal Kingdom.
Disney's Animal Kingdom, which we'll be doing a live stream from in just a few hours. I forget what time, 1 o'clock?
It said 1 o'clock, yeah, Eastern.
Yeah.
Or sorry, Pacific, so 4 o'clock Eastern.
On this day in 1999, something opened at Disney's Hollywood Studios.
1999? Rock and Roller Coaster?
No.
Phantasmic?
No. This attraction equally as well received as those other two. In fact, I'd say overrated just how much people love this attraction.
Sounds Dangerous, starring Drew Carey.
Sounds Dangerous.
Okay.
I was being sarcastic again, people.
Where's that yellow image again?
On this day in 2005, this is kind of a hard one. Touchstone released a movie starring Ashton Kutcher and Amanda Peet. Can you name that movie?
Is it The Butterfly Effect?
No, that's a good guess. You could probably picture the poster because it's a very basic poster.
Is it the Steve Jobs movie?
No.
I don't know.
It's called A Lot Like Love.
Oh, no. Never would have got
It's
that.
like a photo booth kind of thing with some like primary colors on there. On this day finally, on this day in 2009, because I'm not going to make you guess the rest of them, a movie opened.
This day in 2009?
Yeah.
Was it the Earth?
Earth,
Which
yes.
one? Yeah.
Disney Nature continued to release several movies on Earth Day going forward. But if I try to get Tony to do those in order, we would be here all day.
In order would be ridiculous.
It is currently 10 o'clock, 10:01 now. So let me do the 10 a.m. refresh. Tony, why don't you tell the folks what we have coming up while I do that?
Fred asks, why close Mickey's Birthday Land? Because it became Mickey's Starland. His birthday had ended. Hope they reopen it in 2028. Well, it's Storybook Circus now, so I don't think that will happen. What we have coming up later, we do, as Kyle mentioned, live stream from Disney's Animal Kingdom here at Walt Disney World to celebrate the anniversary of the park and Earth Day. And then later on tonight at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, Barely Necessities with Becca and
Rebecca, as far as I know.
Wow, okay. We'll be going over the latest and greatest Disney merchandise.
I don't see anything else on the just some random Earth Day tweets going on. So be sure to check out laughingplace.com. We'll have plenty more. We'll have that walk and talk celebrating the anniversary of Disney's Disney's Animal Kingdom and Earth Day itself. So thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you again later. Bye.
Bye-bye.